Hi guys, welcome to Medium Rare with Lisa. Today's show is all about 2019 and the new year, and I'm excited to have back Claisse, and we're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff. Welcome back.
Thanks for coming.
On
the show.
It's nice to see you. How was your holidays and New Year's?
It was pretty fun. Got a little bit of an energy reset, but took some time out, did some spiritual stuff, and definitely ready for the new year.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are.
Yeah.
So today's show, as I said, is all about the new year, 2019. So I guess to start off, how do you get your energy right for the new year?
Yeah, great question. So for a lot of people, the new year just feels energetic and symbolic. It's not necessarily religious, it's not necessarily spiritual in any way, but it does give you the sense of having a fresh slate. Technically, it's another day, it's another chapter of time, but you can use that energy to harness in new routines, new practices, and also just a new vibration for yourself. So one of the things I really, really like to do is to reflect on the previous period of time. And you might reflect on the previous month. You could do this every month, you could do this every week, but I find it's really great to do it for the new year. And so I make lists. And I make lists of 2 columns, things that worked and things that didn't work. And then after I go through, like maybe working out twice a week, that was helpful, that worked. Having a good sleep routine, that worked. One thing I found on my list from 2 years ago was wearing purple highlighter on my face. That didn't work, okay? So I guess this didn't work, Colin. So you've got to be just like, it can be anything. It doesn't have to be like, I meditated 4 hours a day. That worked or didn't. It can just be like little things. Because what you're doing is you're trying to work out what is the direction you want to go in for the new year and what's the vibration you want to have. Then once you've worked out things that worked and didn't work, then I encourage people to write the question, am I having fun? So of all the things that worked, were they actually fun? And if they were, awesome. That can be your direction for the new year. And if not, why not? And what is fun for you? So that's really, for me, the most exciting way to reset my energy as the new year moves in.
Nice. So when you want, everybody manifests things that they want. And people, manifest stuff, I'm sure, for the new year, new resolutions, How do you make sure you have one thing that you want a new job, for 2019?
Yeah.
How do you manifest that to make sure that you get it in 2019? Because the universe doesn't know time.
Yeah.
So how do we manifest things to make sure we get them in the year?
Yeah. So I actually find... Okay, so time does exist, but it's just not linear in the way that we understand it and the way that we manifest, and sort of it's very malleable. But we're giving it a time constraint, whereas, as you say, energy just kind of happens when it happens. So this is a great one because it might be a new job, it might be a new boyfriend, it might be you want to go overseas, maybe you want to purchase a property, whatever it is that you feel you need. Decide very specifically in what way it'll work for you. You don't want to have too many constraints, but you do need it to work. Like maybe you need a job that has 9 to 5 hours, or maybe, you need to earn a certain amount of money. So be very specific in mapping out what it is that you want. If you don't know what you want, you can vision board your way there, but we'll talk about that in a sec. But decide what you want and, set the intention. It would obviously be really nice to have this as soon as possible, but don't put a time limit on it. Because what I've found is when people set goals and they put a time limit on it and time starts to tick on, the energy vibration associated starts up here because we're happy, and then we get more and more upset because we're not getting what we want.
And I get a lot of messages on that too with like certain readings of why, certain things don't happen because someone gave you a timeline and that's what ruins it. You need to keep your vibration high and just know it's coming.
Exactly, because what happens is as the timeline comes, maybe, you get a reading and they say it's coming in March, and March comes and goes and it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You get so angry and then you get disappointed and you think, well, it's not for me, and you give up.
Right.
So what I have found to be really, really awesome is to have no outcome, no timeline, or maybe you just say, I'm going to give myself 10 years to get that job. And as soon as you take away, you're not actually saying I want it in 10 years, but you're saying anytime in the next 10 years. And what you're doing is you're taking away all pressure, all or negativity, and you just kind of trust that it's coming, and things tend to happen way faster when you do that. Way faster. You might find that when you do that, the job just appears within 2 weeks, because you're suddenly in the vibration of synchronicity. You're suddenly in the energy where things can just flow and come to you, and you're more aware of the present, you're more aware of the signs. You're not living in the future, you're not living in the past, you just are. So you're not pushing away the thing that you want.
So how do you stay in that high vibration? How do you keep things around you, in that magical way? So, if you get disappointed or you get sad, you don't stay there, that you keep it high. How do you do that? So,
I know.
How do you do it?
This is like the $1 million question, right?
Yeah.
So there's a couple of techniques that I found to be effective. Obviously, the first one, which I just mentioned, take away all pressure. So firstly, all expectation, all pressure. Define what you want and then just let go and say it'll come when it needs to come. I trust divine timing. I trust that if I need this right now, it'll be present. And I trust that if I don't need it, there's probably something better that I'm not even aware of. So definitely don't try and figure out the how. Just focus on the end goal and where you're at, and let the universe take care of the middle part. So sometimes you'll have moments where you might, for example, go for an audition for a show. Maybe you're an actor. You go for an audition for a show, you don't get it, and that was all you ever wanted, was that role. So now you're just disappointed. Your energy's flat. You've got nothing left. You've got to pick yourself up in that minute, and you've got to change your vibration. So one thing you can do is just center yourself, because the first thing you've got to do is get yourself back to neutral. Right. And so you just center yourself, you take a moment, maybe you do a little meditation, maybe you close your eyes, maybe you're still in the room where you got rejected, and you just take a minute, center your energy. Okay, I remember who I am, I remember why I'm here, and then find something about the experience you've just had that you love. Find something about that experience that builds you up, okay? And maybe you say, I just auditioned for HBO. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Or maybe I just got, in a conversation with a guy that was really, really amazing, and it didn't work out, but I just got that far, and be proud of the things that did work out as opposed to focusing on the things that didn't. So then that memory and that experience creates a vibration around you, and also rewires your brain to be in a happy mood and to be positive about what just happened. So then you're effectively staying on a positive vibration with everything that happens in every moment.
And sometimes I know if you're really upset, it's hard to get yourself there,
Yeah.
Depending on the situation. What do you recommend to people? I can't get there right away. They stay in a funk, or they stay depressed. Sometimes it's hard to
snap yourself out.
It is.
And I think it's really important to acknowledge emotions when they come up, because if you don't let yourself cry, if you don't let yourself feel down, that's going to bottle up inside, and it can bottle up for 10, 20 years and then come out at the weirdest moments. So definitely in that moment, experience the loss, experience the pain, experience the disappointment, but then say, okay, I know that that's how I feel, but I need something more healthy if I'm going to climb out of this. What's my reset going to be? Is my reset going to be the audition? Is my reset going to be, the fact that I'm meeting my friends after this and they're so supportive? Find your reset, but definitely let yourself have those emotions. Write about it, sing about it, cry about it, go on social media and rant about it, and you might lose all your friends, but at least,
or you could gain some new ones.
Yeah, or, but something that really does release that energy in whatever way, shape or form. You can do meditations to release it. You can scream about it. You can go for a run, exercise, get that out. But it's at some point, whether it's a minute later, 2 days later, 3 weeks later, find a way to reset and move forward, because you're the only one that can drag yourself out of these situations.
Oh, absolutely. Now, for the energy of 2019, what are you feeling? What are you seeing? What can you tell us about everything?
Yeah, I know. There's a lot going on in the world. I don't want to get too specific about politics because it's quite ugly.
Don't
but
worry about
there's
that.
More coming. There's more ups and downs. It's going to be a year of a lot of discovery for people, a lot of self-awareness, a lot of understanding. I feel that this is the year to do creative things, and this is the year to spend time with family. This is the year to reconnect with your loved ones and build personal relationships. So if you've got a business idea that you've been thinking about, get it going this year. Do the planning, do the work, and understand that things do take time, but there's certain energies at certain moments that open up vortexes that allow things to happen very, very quickly. And this year, creative energy is moving very, very quickly. So I feel that this is still a year that encompasses quite a lot of work. There's still that sort of grind that's necessary to keep going with. 2020 is going to be a money year. That's a year of success for a lot of people, a year of opening up energy. But this year, the hard working years, it's easier than 2018, but there's still a little bit more work to do.
So I think it's because I got a couple messages like the last few years, like energy was different, and a lot of people had it rough the last few years. So, and I know I feel this year's different. So what do you make of that? Like that a lot of people are saying something like feels freer for 2019.
Well, all I can say is I feel it too. I still don't feel that it's as free as it's going to get, but I do feel like the energy's a little bit lighter. With that comes a quick movement in manifestation. However, on the flip side, it also comes a quick movement so when you've got a quick movement of action, you've got a quick movement of reaction. So what you'll find is you might be having a general conversation with your friends, and then all of a sudden they react really quickly, and you go, I didn't even realize I was coming across that way. So be very aware of how you come across when you do say things to people around you and when you do take actions, because you will find that even though things are progressing quickly for you, the reactions of people around you are also going to come back very, very fast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about vision boards.
Yes. Do love vision boards.
Okay. So for me, I've tried vision boards. It didn't work for me.
Yeah.
I don't know if I did it wrong. I don't know. I don't know. So how do you make a vision board work for you?
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't know if I'm the only person, and please let us know if you've done a vision board and has it worked or has it not worked. So
I love this question because I love vision boards and I didn't believe in them. I never really believed in anything until it's proven to me that it works, and it started to work and I just was blown away. So I'll start by explaining the process of vision boards, and then you can see from there whether that's what you did or that's what you didn't do.
Okay.
So the idea behind a vision board is not necessarily to specifically put together things you need. It's not really a wish list. It's an energy collage.
Okay.
So what you're doing,
Energy collage.
yeah,
I like
so
that.
right away, a lot of people get that part wrong. They think, oh, I want a new Lexus, blah, blah, blah. And so they find a picture of it, put it on the board. It's not really the way you do it.
Because, not to interrupt, but I remember
Yes.
watching Oprah
Okay.
when The Secret first came out.
Yes.
And she did a vision board thing, and somebody did that. They put your car that you want.
Yeah.
Put that. So now it's interesting that you say no. Okay, so now I'm more intrigued.
Well, I'm not saying you can't do that, but I'm saying this is the way I found it to be effective. And I feel like start with this way, and if you find that works, then get more specific and see if that works.
Okay.
But I really find the most effective way to do it is to put pictures together of things that give you that yes feeling. And don't think about what they are. So grab some old magazines. Maybe you do it on Pinterest because that's just easier. And start looking for pictures. Well, I actually think magazines are easier because it's more tangible, but, each their own. When there's a picture, flick, there's a picture that makes you go, oh, yes. You don't even know why. It might just be a picture of a beach. It might be a picture of a watch. It might be a picture of a necklace. It might be a picture of people smiling. And the best part about doing it this way is that you're not giving yourself any restrictions or understanding about why you're putting things in that you're putting in. And this is where the most synchronistic vision boards come together.
Okay.
This is where the real cool stuff happens. So you might put on it, I had a girl, she put 2 wedding rings and then she got married twice. So you're just putting up, but that was part of her path and she didn't know it until she looked back, you see. So be careful what you put on there, but also, put stuff that makes you feel yes, because that's what's going to bring that energy to you. And I did one, and I spoke about this on one of the podcasts I was on. I just saw a number 1 on the page. I was like, I like that number 1. It's going in the middle of my vision board. And then later that night, someone gave me a ring made out of a dollar bill with a big number 1 on it.
Oh, how neat.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's so cute. And then I got home and I saw the board and I went, oh, that's how it works. So it didn't really mean anything, but it just showed me the energy was there. And it showed me that the magic existed.
So does spirit also communicate with you and tell you what you should or should not do with your vision board?
I feel they do, but I feel a lot of it comes from your own intuitive promptings. So it's a chance to allow your higher self to speak through you and speak to you. Because in those moments, your higher self is saying, that's what we're working towards. That's what we're working towards. So you cut it out, you put it together, and you see it, and the whole board makes you feel good, but you don't know why. And when you feel good, you start to attract the things that are necessary for you to progress on your path, whether you will or no.
So how do you, okay, so you do your vision board, you put it up, you're excited, and you come home and, you know, something bad happens. So again, it kind of goes back to that keeping that energy up.
Yes.
So if your higher self is helping you to stay on that path, I guess, shouldn't you just stay there?
Like, why do bad things happen to good people,
Basically, kind of, you know.
Well, think about it this way. A bad experience is a definition. So every experience is necessary for us to either learn something or to progress on our path. We assign meaning to that. We say it's a bad experience. We say it's a good experience. It's really a choice. So you might say, how could crashing my car be a good experience? You know, or how can being pickpocketed be a good experience? But that leads you to the next step and the next place you need to be, to meet with the next person, to fulfill your spiritual path, to be exactly who you're supposed to be. And a friend of mine was trying to get rid of her car for ages, and her, you know, in her mind, she's like, God, I've got to sell it. I don't know how to do this. And she came home one day and her boyfriend had written off her car. And he called her and he said, I'm sorry, babe, like the car's gone. Can you come pick me up? And she's like, yeah, I can. And she started laughing because what she realized, Haley Carr, if anyone wants to tune in, she's awesome, she's a life coach too. What she realized in that moment is that that was the perfect solution, because she got her insurance money, she didn't have to worry about selling the car, problem was solved, and she could buy the motorbike that she wanted.
Nice.
So she didn't define that as a negative experience. He wasn't hurt, no one was hurt, he just swerved off the road. It was the perfect solution for exactly the scenario she was in.
Okay. So it is, I mean, the universe does give you what you want. It may not be the way that you think or you want.
Yeah.
Which,
you know, just trust that you are where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. Be very careful what you wish for and always be careful you need it. One time I was running late for a meeting and I was like, I just need to bend time. I have something that I haven't finished and I have to be there. I don't know how to do this. And then one of my earrings fell into the sink and gone. And I called the maintenance guy. And then we got held up. And then, you know, and then it all started. And so then I couldn't leave. And it gave me time to finish what I was doing, but not in the way I wanted. I didn't want to lose a very expensive earring.
Did you find the earring?
No, never. Gone.
Oh, gosh,
gone.
Sorry.
Yeah, but the thing is, I wished for that. It happened, and then, you know, I got what I needed in that moment. So always be careful what you wish for. You will get it, but it's never bad luck. It's always exactly what you needed in that moment.
Okay. Now, how do you, I guess we can, you and I had a conversation about death.
Yes.
And with the new year, and, you know, New Year is supposed to be all kinds of fun and great things, but there's a lot of people, I mean, I know a few people that have lost people. You know, you had a couple.
Yeah.
So how do you, New Year, and you're starting it off with a bang.
Right. So I actually had some terrible news on New Year's Day, which just made me laugh because, you know, I was like, of course the New Year's going to start off like this. So, you know, I basically found out that someone had gone through my purse and stolen all my credit cards on New Year's Eve. And I didn't realize until the next day. And I looked and I was like, I guess I'm not going to the supermarket this morning. But, you know, it made me laugh because I was like, of course this would happen. So the New Year did start out a little strange for a lot of people. And I understand now that I wasn't the only one. I also found out that a close friend of mine passed away, you know, in that New Year period. But again, it's a cycle and it's energy. So I have noticed around Halloween, around New Year, around significant days, like even around Rosh Hashanah for some people, like around a Jewish New Year, a lot of energy moves and a lot of clearing can happen. So it's not unusual for people to pass away around a Gregorian calendar New Year or around Halloween or around those significant events because a lot of energy does move. So now, you know, how do we go into the new year trusting that we're going to be okay if we've just lost a loved one? You go through the grieving process. You accept that what happened happened and you just use that as inspiration and you use it as a new start to get your own life into alignment with exactly what you need.
That's nice. I like that. I don't know which question. Like I have all these questions.
Yeah.
If you guys have any questions, you know, and she's drawn to you, you know, we have some stuff too.
Oh wow, I think Ashley had a question. I can't Kim.
Chris, what about your thought, like on crystals, like holding crystals, and how do you think that crystals? Do you believe in them? Do you think that they help?
They do.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't let you finish the question. Yes, love crystals. I feel like crystals are a really quick way to reset your energy. You don't need them, but if you use them, they work. And they're just so pretty. Like, why wouldn't you? I do feel that crystals also hold vibration, so you should always be careful where you get them from and who you get them from. If something feels good to you, keep it. But if it feels like, even if it's a great stone, that it doesn't have the right vibration, go for the one that speaks to you. Crystals can be really good in calming your energy, self-healing, getting rid of anxiety. I would never recommend using it in place of a proper medical treatment, but in addition to, it can be a really nice extra touch.
Nice.
Yeah, and don't put them in your drink bottle. I know a lot of people have been doing that.
Really? I didn't hear about that.
Public service announcement. Crystals are often polished and coated in things like arsenic and like really intense chemicals to make them shine. So don't put them in your food. It's nice those ones where they have it like separate and the vibrations there, but don't mix stones and food. It's not a good idea.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, there's
don't
a lot
put
of
your stones in your
metals
food or your water.
I wouldn't do it. Some people swear by it. I personally wouldn't do it.
Now, is there anything that we need to know about this new year? Is there anything that you want to tell us? Things that we should do, things that we shouldn't do, things we can expect?
Yeah. Plan and be organized, and also be as kind as possible to the people around you, because you never know what someone else is going through.
Right.
And because this is one of those years where action and reaction happen so fast, just try to keep reminding yourself everyone's going through something and you're not the only one.
Right.
Yeah.
Fun. It's going to be a good year, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be an easier year than ever before. Much easier. We all need that.
Oh, yeah.
We really do.
Okay, guys, so let's get to some questions because I know we have a lot coming in. Do you want to do Facebook first or Instagram?
I wanted to say Facebook, but Spirit just said Instagram.
Okay.
So sorry, guys. Do you have some ones on Instagram you'd like to choose?
I have one from Danny333. She just says, any messages from me, especially with finances?
For 2019. Danny, I feel like you're not looking at the books, and I feel like if you actually wrote down what was coming in and what was going out, you wouldn't be as fearful. There's a need to stop giving money to family and friends. So I don't know if you've actually been giving money away or just helping out with costs and group purchases, but I feel like you need to separate yourself from that and become more independent, and you'll find a lot more room in your budget. But you're not doing too bad. There's a feeling that you're more scared than you need to be. And I'm not a financial advisor, but definitely just, draw up a spreadsheet and have a look at what's actually going on. You might find there's a bit more wiggle room than you expect.
I have from Lulu Bella. She
Okay.
says, hi Cody, same thing for me.
Okay, Lulu Bella for 2019. You've been a bit shy, is what Spirit's saying, and you're acting like the world's waiting for you to do something. But I feel like you just need to get out there and have fun and be your fun self, because you've got a big personality, you've got a lot of happiness, and you've got a lot of love to share. And I do wonder if you're doing that thing of, I'll be my best self when I know where I'm going. But this comes back to what we were talking about before, where sometimes you don't know how you're going to get to where you're going to get to. You just know that you want a certain outcome or a certain lifestyle. But if you just be in the moment and be your happiest vibration along the way, you'll realize that you're getting there a lot quicker than you expected. There's also a little boy that comes into your life. It might be a nephew or a friend's son. He needs a lot more hugs and kisses, a lot more care. So just make some time for him as well.
I have another from Pretty Photo 12. She says, what do synchronicities mean? It's been a constant the last few days.
Oh, okay. I've actually had another friend contact me about that. She's like, why do I think of someone and then they call me? It's happened 8 times.
Well, that
in a
happened
row.
yesterday to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've been thinking about someone and all of a sudden there they were. It was weird.
Okay, so there's 2 things that can happen. There's telepathy and then there's precognition and premonitions. So with telepathy, you'll find you think about them in the moment when they call you. So it's like an instant connection. The electromagnetic energy is moving back and forth. But with precognition and premonitions, you might think about them the night before. You might think about them a few days before. They might just be on your mind for a while. And that's your higher self, your psychic saying, check in with this person, something's up. So when synchronicities happen, I tend to feel that it is you being on your aligned path with spirit, with your life contract, and being where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. So this lady, I forgot what her name was.
Pretty Photo 12.
Pretty Photo 12, you are finding that you are in alignment with your spiritual path. Take every synchronicity as a confirmation that spirit is with you and you're exactly where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. You're on a spiritual path.
So I have one from Hey Charney.
Okay.
I'm on the hunt for a new job. Curious to hear any insights from Spirit.
Okay, any insights from Spirit about the new job? There's one coming. I feel like it's in January, like it might be in the next few weeks. And I actually feel there was an interview last week that went quite well, but you're not too far off it. You need to be doing something with the community, whether it's environmental, working with children, working with people. I don't know if this person's a teacher or if they do things with like sort of group work, but I feel like being around people for this person is really, really important. And they've brought a lot of light into different people's lives. So the message is keep moving forward. It's not too far away, but you're not really getting out there as much as you could be. So I don't know if you're not applying enough or you're just not saying yes to interviews. But even if you feel you are, do more. Go to more interviews, even ones you don't even think you want, because I feel like this one will surprise you and it's going to be the kind of job where you don't initially expect that you want it, and then you'll just land up there and it'll be a perfect fit. So yeah, I'd say, gosh, like 3 weeks max. Feels like it's really soon.
Excuse me, yawning.
That's okay.
The
The energies.
another from Pleiadian Healer.
Okay.
She says, how can I really take off with my photography business and attract new clients?
You are meant to be doing this bigger and better. Okay, Pleiadian Healer. That's a cool name. You're meant to be doing landscapes and doing. So I don't know if you're doing people or like studio work. You're meant to be outdoors and doing nature and on the road. And I feel like there might be a side income and a side hustle that you have going on at the moment. Don't get rid of that, but keep making efforts to take trips, get out there and do bigger and better adventures, because I feel like your success is going to come through landscapes. And it's from there that you'll make the connections you need to get your business moving. I do see small exhibitions like in coffee shops and things like that, but I feel your work will make more sense once you take it on the road. Okay, I'll leave that with you. Yeah, do you have another one? Yeah.
I've got one from Liisa Rothwell.
Okay,
How do I get more focused with my writing?
okay. By doing it. Sorry, Lisa, you're not doing it. You've been thinking about it, talking about it, wanting to work at it, but I feel like you're getting to the table and you're sitting there and you're just going, and I get that because procrastination is real, like it's a thing. I actually feel like you're pushing and forcing the content, and if you were to just let it go and walk away from it for a while, you would find that before you know it, you can't wait to sit down and write because you have so much to say. And you might have to take until the spring, like a couple more months, to just give yourself a break and not think about it and not force it. But because your energy is in alignment with a really structured like framework of what you have to write, you're not inspired. So I actually feel like you need to take time away before the inspiration comes back and just be okay with that. Yeah. Cool.
We have more on Instagram.
I have more.
Okay.
I have from Shim16.
Yeah.
Hello, Claisse. Any messages for me, business or otherwise? Couple of things going on.
Couple of things going on. Okay. Negotiations big for you. Big. Definitely talk things out before you make moves. And I feel like it's a male that you're going to talk them with. This might be an investor or a partner or someone that you sort of respect. It could be your dad if your dad works with you. But there's a feeling like you may need to talk things through before you sign anything. I do feel like there's a bit of a cul-de-sac in the sense that the road doesn't move on with one project that you're on right now and you keep going around in circles. But as you move through January to March, there's a feeling that things are stagnant, but at the end of March you've found the answers that you need. So it's a timing issue. Don't be a pushover in these negotiations because people are going to try and get things done their way, and you will need to retain the quality of the products that you produce. I actually know this person, I know what she does, but I'm not aware of what's going on with her business. So I will say that keep the products the same way you like them, but the distribution and the marketing of them might need to change. And if that's the negotiation that needs to happen, then, just think it through before you sign anything.
And I have from Bella Tex.
Yep.
Thing for me about my love life.
About your love life. Your heart is open. Oh, it's so sweet. Be prepared to let love in. Be prepared to let love come in. Have a beautiful connection. It might not last, but through every connection you have, you will learn a piece about yourself that gets you ready for the next experience. I do feel like you want this, and I do feel like you're trying to get your heart chakra connected, but you've been through so many disappointments and so many letdowns that you're not willing to really open up and to just have fun. And it's not about meeting the one person that'll be with you for the rest of your life. It's about meeting people along the way, letting your vibration raise up, meeting another person, letting your vibration raise up, and before you know it, you're so in love with the world that everything's just that much easier. And then you will eventually connect with that person, but let these be little boosters along the way to get you to where you need to be.
Okay. Do you want me to keep going on Instagram?
Let's do some Facebook and then we'll go back to Instagram because we have like a few on Facebook.
Okay, so Ashley, would it be appropriate to ask a past life question, or are you only looking for deceased loved ones' questions? I have a past life attached to, and then it kind of cuts off.
Matt, can you lift it up?
That's all right. Let me
okay.
see.
Oh, there we go.
Just in general, Ashley and past.
Oh, I have a past life attached to the Holocaust.
Oh, okay. Let's just talk about past life in general. If you get flashbacks and you get feelings and you get strong emotions about events that you feel connected to, meditate on them. Ask Spirit what it is you need to see. If you feel that you've got this Holocaust life, what is it you needed to learn from that? What is it that you've got to let go of in this lifetime to become your true self? Is it that you're meant to work with Holocaust survivors? Is it that you're meant to be more compassionate towards people going through some kind of hardship? Or is it really just that you're here to be as bright and as strong as possible because you've made it through such a tough time in a recent vibration? For you, Ashley, I feel like your lesson this year and your lesson in this life is to have your voice heard. You have a lot to say. You're very intelligent. You're very strategic in the way that you solve problems, and I feel like that needs to be heard. If you're in a job where you don't get to have a voice, you need to change careers. I feel like you're on a path where you need to be presenting to people, like presenting to a room, public speaking, things of that nature. So think about that and see where you can work that into your career. You need to be heard in this life.
Okay, the next question. There we go. Excuse me.
Okay, Molly. Will I reconnect with my artistic practice again and regain that anniversary drive? So Molly's basically asking, will she feel artistic and will she start doing that again? I feel that you want to, but I feel you need stability right now, Molly, and I don't feel that previous job or that previous practice you were doing was bringing you stability. I feel that if she was to reconnect with this, it would be more as a hobby and more as a creative outlet and a form of expression, and that could then lead to other opportunities. But for now, Spirit's putting you in a position where you need to be stable. I don't know if you've just had a kid or if you've just moved, but I feel like finance is really important, and you don't want to throw away the satisfaction that comes from stability just to follow your heart. A lot of people get that wrong. They think, if this is what I'm meant to be doing, I'm going to do it 100% and I'll be fine. And sometimes you will, if you believe it. But 90% of us don't believe it, and when bills come in, we freak out. And that's why it's really important to have the financial stuff taken care of, so that you can relax, be fully creative, and just see where that takes you.
Right.
Yeah.
It is. It's hard, the money thing.
Yeah. And if it is hard, then, have your side hustle, have your side job that brings you the ability to sleep at night so that you can be your best self and fully show up in your creative practice.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Carter, can you tell me if I'll have a successful year and if my daughter will come back to me? I don't feel that you've been unsuccessful, but I feel like you're not satisfied, Carter. So this is a fun one because people say if you don't succeed at first, redefine success.
Right.
Okay? Maybe your version of success is unrealistic for your life path and maybe it's not necessary. Maybe you're already succeeding in the way you need to. I do feel your daughter will come back, Carter, but I feel like you need to give it space and room for that relationship to evolve. I feel like she's going out and experiencing the world in a way that helps her grow and helps her feel freedom, and that you're not necessarily a part of that section of the journey, but you will be in the future. So let love go, let it come back in. She's not doing anything malicious, she just needs space. And I do feel she'll be back. I feel she'll be back later in the year, and I feel like at that moment you'll be more focused on your own path and your own life, and so you'll feel like she complements that as opposed to the fact that she would make you complete. She would complement your journey. Yeah.
And
Is your cousin in a good... So Carter asks, my cousin passed away last year. Is he in a good place? I'm feeling that he's in the light. I'm feeling that he's made it to the other side, but I'm feeling a lot of family tension around this person and in the family in general. And I'm feeling like a lot has been left unsaid. And that if you were to slowly work at trying to repair those relationships and with time let go of grudges and just kind of experience the energy as it is, that would start to heal, and I do feel it would help him in the spirit world progress. So he's working with the family now to help heal and mend those relationships.
how do they do that?
And sometimes they come in through promptings. And so, they'll like haunt you until you've said what needs to be
Really?
said.
Oh.
But it's never in a spooky way. I mean, the most spookiest thing I've ever had is I'm just sitting there typing on my computer and something flies across the room. And I'm like,
No,
oh, guys,
are you
this is
serious?
that happened last night, yeah.
Like, do you know who it was? Or
I do. I try not to connect with them too deeply when they do that because it's like a toddler with bad behaviour. If you acknowledge it, it'll increase. So with this particular woman, I was...
no, is she related to you?
No, she was related to the person I was doing a reading for. So I was...
And they don't leave with them? They stay with you?
Well, in that moment, I was writing something out for this person.
Okay.
And I was addressing something they'd asked me to address. And this woman stepped in at this one moment when I was addressing something about relationships for this person, and she threw a box across the room. And it was like a box of tissues, right? So it's not a big deal. But I just, in that moment, like, firstly, I freak out and I go, oh, who's there? And I freeze. And then I calm down and I'm like, all right.
See, that's so interesting that you freeze because you work with them. But go on.
I know, but year after year after year, it never ceases to spook me out. And so I got spooked and then I'm like, okay, back to spirit. And I see the woman and I just say to her, come back when I'm with this person, or come back to that person, please. Don't come through me because I'm not here opening to spirit right now. I'm doing a psychic reading. Come back either when I'm meditating, when I'm talking to this person directly in a proper reading scenario, or go to them directly in their dreams. I'm not the person who's able to help right now. Basically, I just put up a boundary because in that moment, I'm not looking to communicate. Sometimes they can help with what I'm doing, but in that moment, I didn't feel that behaviour was appropriate. And so I told her to please speak to my spirit guides who I'm speaking to right now and to channel messages through them because that's how I felt comfortable. But spirit can come to you by pushing you into scenarios where you are perhaps, you run into someone you haven't seen in a while. So they can create a scenario where things can be said, where outlets can happen. Or maybe you have a friend in a job that you don't like, but they were an old friend and then you get put on a team where you have to work together. So spirit can intervene in little ways like that. Or maybe they'll just give you this feeling, I have to call this person, and you do, and that heals the relationship. Yeah. So they have ways of getting involved.
Yeah.
Yep. They'll find us when they need to.
So we have a couple more questions.
anything on my youngest son from Jory. Your youngest son needs a lot of patience. A very, very creative boy, very smart, very intelligent, mind moves very quickly. He may be prone to behaviour that's sort of in line with, I don't know if it's like ADD or just something where he speaks a lot, because I feel like energy comes out of him really, really quickly. And I want you to know that that's part of his brain moving too fast, not part of him being unaware. So have a lot of patience with him. I do feel he needs a bit of motivation and a bit of structure, because energy like that needs to be channeled somewhere productive. And I feel that if you were to put him on a course where, I actually don't know what age he is, but I feel like something where he can work with his hands. So if he's older and he's working in like an industry, get him like somewhere where he can do like construction or cooking or something where he can use his hands and see what he's doing. But if he's younger, and I'm being told he's in the middle, so maybe he's a young adult, I feel like he needs to be put into things like science and chemistry and things where he can like see start to finish what he's doing. So any environments like that would be really helpful for him if you still have control over his path to a degree. Any more on Instagram?
Yes, I have from Dog Mom 45.
Yep.
Anything for me.
Dog Mom, is there anything specific she wants to know or just general?
She just said anything for me.
Okay. Only because we spoke last night, and so I just wanted to see if anything new came up for her.
I'm double checking. Oh, she says wondering about love, money, and life direction.
We haven't spoken about that. Love, money, and life direction for Dog Mom. I'm being told that you've been keeping yourself away. This is an interesting one, almost like you've been keeping yourself in a bit of a cave, hiding away from the world a little bit. It would be easier for you. You're somewhat of a carer for others, almost like a nurse, where you're getting out there and helping the whole community. And I feel that, Dog Mom, if you were to go out there and start socialising, and there's something you've wanted to do with charity, and I don't know if it's like helping friends or actually getting out there and helping people in need, but if you were to get on that path and do that, that would start the energy of abundance, the wheel of abundance moving, and that would bring you the happiness and the finances and the prosperity that you've been wanting, and the new connections that you need. So that thing that's been on your mind, I'm being shown it's been ticking away, and you've said, I want to do it, but I don't know how, or I don't know when. Just get out there and start acting on your intuitive promptings, and that will put you into alignment with where you need to be.
Another question from Danny 333.
Yes?
She says, would it be unsafe to help earthbounds in cemetery or cross over?
I don't believe in earthbounds. I don't feel it's unsafe to do that, because your intention is to help. But I believe that when we die, we cross, and that spirit takes care of that process. Now, what she may be getting confused with is the impression of a spirit when it was alive. I have done a lot of work, not a lot of work, but I've spent a lot of time in cemeteries, especially working in Salem and things like that. And I've never found spirits to hang around their graves, mainly
Really?
because there's nothing there.
Even if someone's visiting them?
Yep. They spend their time around the family and around the loved ones, because there's no energy around a grave. So when you go there, you'll find it's very peaceful, it's very quiet, it's very serene, it's very tranquil. It's a really great place to meditate. It's not spooky, it's not dark at all. But if you find an energy presence in a place like that, the majority of the time it's an impression, it's not an actual spirit. So it's an imprint of a person or something that was there from when they were alive. And that's what a lot of hauntings are. And this is a whole other show for a whole other day. But a lot of feelings of earthbounds are actually just imprints of people from when they were alive that are kind of set in that moment in time, but the actual spirit has moved on and is progressing in the spirit world.
Now, do you feel that when people pass, they go right to the light, or do they stay?
I feel they go right to the light. They get received. Some people spend time getting there, and that could be because they're particularly religious and they're waiting to see God or Jesus, or they're particularly stuck on the idea of when I die, and so I don't understand I'm supposed to go there. But spirit guides step in to help them. That's not our job. And so there are people that work with them that say, come with us, you're ready, come now, this is your time, we're going to take you. And they're constantly working with those people, so it's not really up to us to intervene in that process.
Okay.
Yeah. We may feel that we want to, but, that's all very well and good, but I don't actually feel like we have the ability to help in the way the spirits that were selected on that side too actually can.
Okay.
Yeah. So don't worry about trying to help spirits, they'll help themselves.
I think we have time for a couple more questions.
Yes. Yeah.
I have some. I have Indigo Bliss Mama.
Yes.
Anything, thoughts or insights around career? And she said, thank you, blessings.
Oh, thank you. Indigo Bliss Mama around career. She's really trying to change her path. I really like the energy with this woman. You're really trying to make things better. You're really trying to up your game. I feel that she's trying to do something spiritual on a bigger level. And I feel like what you're actually doing now isn't bad, but you want to do more. So what I would say to you is try to stay open. It's going to come in like an opportunity. Like someone might call you and say, do a podcast while you're running your business and doing everything, and then do it. But don't expect that that's going to change your path or change your life. It's going to be little things like that that keep drawing you away, and then eventually you'll find you no longer need the core business, and then you'll be off doing the other thing that you want to be doing. But your career's not in a bad place. I don't mind where you are because I feel like you're still helping people in the job that you have. So patience. It'll come. Yeah. Xian, is that right? Xian. Is my son okay up in heaven? I'm being shown he's in the arms of an older woman. So Xian, I don't know if your mom or your grandma's in spirit, but I'm being shown that he was moved very quickly into a house with an older couple. A woman that has lighter hair, possibly blonde or grey. She wears glasses. She's there with her husband who had a bit of a tummy before he passed. He wasn't fat, but he just had like an old man tummy. And I feel that your son went straight away to play and he recognised those two. And that he's in a house with them and there's a dog with him as well. So there's possibly a family dog that he's playing with, and he's just been happy the whole time. He plays tricks on you. You might find that you lose objects. You might find that the TV changes channels without you touching anything. It's just him saying hello. And he does tickle your face at night and play with your hair. So that is him, and that's why you think of him just before you go to sleep most nights. He's around. He says hello.
And what else do we have on Facebook?
Yeah, not doing politics, sorry. I know everyone wants to get political, but it's just too dark of an energy.
No.
And I will say, things will work out the way they need to. We're just here to navigate our path within the conditions that we have. But, not to say you can't go and follow through with whatever you want or believe in. Definitely take action if there's something you want to take action on. Tiffany, okay. Hello, I'm new here. May I receive a reading on what's to come in a few months, or if any of my loved ones who passed are around me? Okay, Tiffany, let me just hone in on one of those because that's a really big question. I feel that I'm being shown you're taking risks. I don't know if you're gambling or if you're trying like new jobs, but I keep seeing you throwing coins into different buckets, like as if to say, I'm going to try this, I'm going to try this, I'm going to try this. And I love that energy because what you're doing is you're experimenting and you're putting yourself out there. I need to tell you there's no wrong answer. And I feel like there's 3 very defined paths for you in terms of career and lifestyle. And I want you to keep going with all of them until one of them takes off. And I actually feel the first one that you tried will take off. Whatever job or career you started doing in the very, very beginning that felt like it just ground to a halt, that's the one where you need to be now. Not to say that the second one won't take off in the future, but I feel like the third one's going to fall away. The first one's where you need to be now, and then after you've done that for a little while, the second one will take off, and that's going to be where the excitement comes in. So don't try and make this decision for yourself. Let the universe make the decision for you, but approach both as if those are your 2 only options and you love both of them equally, and that's when the magic will come to you.
Nice.
Yeah. Do we have time for one more?
We do.
Do you feel? Yeah.
Do I have Candace Fit Help?
Yes.
Just asking if there's anything for her this year.
Okay, Candace, for you this year, I feel like there's going to be a focus on boys around April. There's a big thing with a relationship around April, and you're going to need to make a decision. And it might be the opportunity for you to move, and it might be to move back to where you originally grew up. I can't remember if you are where you grew up now or if you grew up somewhere else, but I get the feeling you're not where you grew up, and there'll be an opportunity to move or to do some work in another city, and you'll be called to do that. But I feel like go with what you know to be right. It's almost like a door opens, but you don't have to go through with this opportunity, but consider it, because it may be the opportunity that gets you back in a routine that you've been craving. I know you're successful with what you do, but I feel like you've been craving routine, and I feel like this is going to give you the chance to get that routine. And there's significance around a man, but I actually feel like he's going to be like, I love you, move in with me. And you're like, no, I'm Miss Independent, I'm not doing it. But what I like about that is there's more coming after that, and I feel that at the end of 2019, you're going to be very happy with where you are. Just in life in general, you're not going to feel that anxiety if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. That all kind of sheds away after April. You go through this change in your perspective where you suddenly realise everything you need you have. So I really, really like that for you, and I hope to see you, Candice, in the new year. So we'll see what happens. Did you have something there? Because it feels like the energy is coming through over there. Yeah.
I have one from Des Brooklyn Maychen. She says, hi. Wondering if anything will work out with a guy named Seth or a different one this year.
Okay. I hope Seth's not listening.
Probably not.
He probably is. No, he's probably not. He's really lovely. He likes you a lot, but there's no movement forward there. And I'm not saying it can't, but I'm just saying, like, he's not putting the effort in. So that really sucks, doesn't it? Because you find someone you like, you get all excited, they get all excited, and then boom, cold. And you're just like, what happened? I feel like have fun with Seth for now, but you're meant to be with someone who's a little, there's a soul connection there too. Darn, you guys are like really in it. Let's put it this way, he's going to make sense at the time, but there'll be someone better after this. So have fun with it, learn what you need to learn, but after this there's going to be a more fulfilling relationship, one that's longer term, and that's the one where I want you to be ready for it. So I don't want you to keep dragging on. If you feel things are sort of running out with Seth, just let it go, because I need you to rebuild your energy so that when that next one comes in, you're 100% ready. Don't talk about your exes on a date. I don't know why I need to say that, but don't do it. Maybe you've been doing that. Just Spirit says don't do it. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Okay, so before we wrap up,
Yep.
Anything touch base that we need to know for 2019?
Yeah.
Where can people get a hold of you? What's going on with you? Events, podcasts?
All of the above.
All of the above.
If you want to do a personal reading for 2019, go to my website and click on book a reading. You can do an in-person reading if you live in New York City. You can do a Skype reading if you live anywhere else, all year round. I do readings all year round. In terms of me, actually tomorrow I'm going to fly to Aspen, Colorado.
Fun.
So if you're in Colorado and you're going to be in Aspen this weekend, you can book a reading with me. You can come to my meditation class. All that information's on my website, CaliceSimone.com. Then after that, I'm going to be in New Hope, Pennsylvania, which is on the border of Jersey and New Hope. We've already sold out Saturday, so we opened a second day. If you do want a reading there, book quickly because that's probably going to sell out too. And that's the 9th and 10th of February, I believe. In March, I'm going to be in Vegas, in Nevada.
Do you want me to carry your bags?
Maybe we need to discuss. So if you're in Vegas or you're in California, you want to come to Vegas and see me, I'll be doing private readings in Vegas. After that, I'll make more announcements as it gets booked. But I have a few things coming up after that. That's it for the first few months.
Fun. Any last thing we need to know about 2019, energy-wise?
Back to that same message, be your best self and be kind to others.
Okay.
Because it really will make a difference this year. You'll feel the karmic effects of it, and what you put out is what you get back. So, give yourself a treat, put good energy out there, and just have a really, really fun time with the knowing that you'll get what you need when the time is right.
Okay.
But everything's coming to you.
Awesome. Well, you guys, I hope you liked the show. Thank you again for coming.
Thanks for having me.
And thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.
See you.